Williams-Sonoma hot chocolate is just chocolate shavings that you melt into milk.
And it's just so rich and creamy.
And then you get their peppermint marshmallows, and it's like, you're really treating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Williams-Sonoma, so it's entirely too expensive, but
listen,
worth it, man. Spoil yourself.
You need to do that sometimes.
Hello.
Hi.
Kara got us cookies, and we're both still enjoying them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
I'm Kara.
I'm Megan.
Hello.
This is the last episode of the year.
How?
I don't know. We're recording it a little bit early, which you'll probably only know if you're on the YouTube, because you'll be like, weren't those the shirts y'all were wearing?
Kara's still pregnant.
Yeah. By this point, Kara should have had the baby. Good Lord. If you haven't had the baby by the time this episode comes out,
we're outside doing
like,
all
she's
the things.
Just crazy. Yeah. We're every old wives' tale, every spell we can find.
Megan has become a runner because I have to.
No. Well, if it would help you, okay.
It's questionable.
So not a runner.
Right now I could not.
Yeah.
Like I can't even put my legs together.
Kara used to be a runner.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year, at this time, we talked about manifesting goals, and we set words for the year.
Oh, man.
And a lot of you really got into that, and it made us super happy.
So fun.
I loved that. We do want to set words for the year again. I always do. Mm-hmm. But I'm just not going to do an episode on it again. But we'll talk about it in the Facebook group. So if you have no idea.
We'll share our words.
Yeah, we'll share ours in the Facebook group, and I'd want to hear all your rolls. Last year, I made phone wallpapers for everybody to have their words of the year on their phones. This year, I think we've grown too much to be able to do that as much as I would love to. I don't think I would be able to cover everybody, but I will try to do some of the more common words just for anybody that wants to use them. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's episode 111.
Oh my gosh.
Right. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
I forgot to say,
something
we're over 200 episodes now.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that we'd recorded our 200th when we did that.
No, people were like congratulating us on Facebook, and I was like, what?
I'm like, oh yeah.
We're there already?
So today, as we are at the end of the year, I basically have been thinking a whole lot about how thankful I am. I always stop and reflect about everything. And I wanted to tell you guys how thankful I am for you and how I am constantly happy that you're here.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy to us that so many people love us, and we just love you all.
Yeah. Like, I knew I would enjoy making a podcast. I like creating things. It gives me a chance to write, which I always enjoy. I like entertaining and making you laugh. I like hanging out with Kara.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the topics that we cover. Like, I knew making the podcast would be fun.
Right.
I had not, I really had no idea how much I'd enjoy the interaction with people who listen. Mainly because I didn't realize there would be so much interaction.
Okay, same.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it's just this incredible built-in community that I had never anticipated. And it makes sense because we're all into the same interests. That's why we're here.
Yeah. And there's no drama.
Yeah. And it's really easy to hop in the Facebook group, and it's like, I found this funny or fascinating or whatever, and I'm going to share it with you. And
everybody chimes in.
And everybody else agrees that it's hilarious or funny or whatever. Hilarious or funny. Or interesting. I know I've said this before, but seriously, I feel like I do actually know a lot of you.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'll see your names in the comments on things, or I'll notice you've bought something from the store. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I knew Catherine would like that shirt.
Yeah.
Because Catherine always wants a long sleeve t-shirt. And I always forget to make long sleeve t-shirts. This most recent drop, I specifically was like,
Catherine's going to let us know.
I'm going to make a long sleeve t-shirt that's going to say words are hard on it. And Catherine's going to love it. And she bought it right away.
Oh, I love it.
And in my head, I was like, yes,
I love it. Well, and a lot of you have been with us since day one.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Rachel. Hello.
Hello.
But I know we talk about Rachel a lot because we love her, but there's so many of you who've been around from the beginning. And when I have thoughts about, when one of you pops in my head, it just makes me happy. That's it's like we're friends, you know? And I love knowing all of you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for interacting, not only with us, but with each other.
Yeah, building that little community.
I love it when I see you guys talking to each other, or somebody has a problem and the other one's helping. It's like I'm your mom. I'm like, oh, look at them all. Look at my babies. And thank you for loving us through every season, literally and figuratively, that we go through.
Yeah. I feel like we've been through all life seasons these past 2 years.
Yeah. I think you're the bee's knees and the cat's elbows.
And the turtle's shell.
And the turtle's, yes.
And the
rabbit's
scales.
ears. Not Mary's rabbits, though. No.
Oh, God.
Now that we're already in mushy mode, because I love you, I was trying to figure out what kind of episode I wanted to do to, like, send us into the new year. Last year was all about manifesting. This year, I'm trying to think of ways to take care of all of you because I love you. And so I'm like, how can I make sure that you're happy all the time? So if you've listened to past episodes we've done about different Wiccan holidays or read the witchy post on the Patreon blog, you've heard me mention the Wheel of the Year. I've defined it before, but basically the Wheel of the Year lays out the year with according to the major solar events and the midpoints between them. So we have the major ones. Yule is the winter solstice, Ostara is the spring equinox, Letha is the summer solstice, and Mabon, the fall equinox. And sometimes you'll hear the major ones referred to as quarter days. And then you have the midpoints, which are sometimes called the cross quarter days, and they're exactly what they sound like. They fall midway between the majors. And that's things like Imbolc, which is coming up in February, Beltane, Samhain. You get it. Those are like the smaller, lesser known ones, except Samhain is, of course, really well known. The main thing that I deeply appreciate about the Wheel of the Year is the way it makes me slow down and pay attention to the world around me.
Right.
And I'm thankful that I started doing the witchy blog posts because it really makes me take notice of where I am in the year and what's going on outside, because it's all about nature.
Well, and also like where your mental state is with all of those.
Exactly. So I'm not sure if it's because of how my perspective is changing as I age, or because of how the world around me is changing, or maybe it's both. But the nice thing about nature is there's nothing like fake or filtered about it.
Right.
This cycle of nature has been like this forever. And that to me is a really nice, comforting thing to think about. Exactly. So a lot of our lives these days happen online, and you can curate a pretty great existence there. I know, I've done it. But it's curated, and that's not life. Life is imperfect and messy and up and down and light and dark. I made that comment earlier about how you guys love us through different seasons, and that's a great example. Like, we have seasons in our lives. Sometimes things are bright and sunny and abundant, and sometimes things are dark and gray and quiet.
And you know what's interesting? Like, some of our like longtime listeners and followers will reach out to us and be like, "Hey, is everything cool? Because I've noticed a change in your tone of voice."
I've heard that. Yeah, I've seen that too.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
they know us that well."
Yeah.
Sometimes things die. Sometimes things go dormant. Sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you have to hurry. That's normal life. Everything is not perfectly planned and controlled the way that you can plan out your online posts.
Yeah.
The Wheel of the Year lays out a celebration of all of those things. Like right now in the winter here in the United States, when it's, or at least the Northern Hemisphere, when it's cold and dark and nothing's blooming, when I'm struggling creatively and don't feel like being productive, it's just good to remember that that's just the natural cycle of things.
Like, you need to rest.
Yes.
The world's telling you to rest.
It's important. And I've said this to all of you many times, but we can't be on all the time.
Right.
And that's absolutely what the world wants from us these days. Like, whether we're talking about posting and commenting and interacting on social media, or responding to every text, or simply this drive, at least in the culture that we've grown up in, to like achieve.
Right.
We're expected to be available and productive and camera ready all the time. And it's exhausting. So my wish for all of us as we head into the new year is to make a conscious, intentional effort to simply stop. Just stop.
Just don't.
That's it. Stop living your life on autopilot, doing the same things day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
I know sometimes things are busy and the only way to get through it is autopilot.
Right.
But come up with something, even if it's just like setting a reminder in your phone once a week to snap you out of it now and then. So you remember to just take a moment and breathe and like look around.
Right.
It sounds a little basic to be like, just look up. But seriously, look up from your phone a minute.
Yeah.
Look outside. Look at the sky. Look at anything that's going on.
Go do
just
something
to be
different.
present and ground yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really, really important. That I can't think of exactly how it goes right now, but it's like a meditation thing where it's like, what are 5 things you can hear? What are 3 things you can see?
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
You can touch.
You can make that up
smell.
in your head, or you can Google it and figure out exactly what it should be.
I may have that saved on my phone.
You know, just something where it's like, take a moment and be present, even if it's just for a few minutes. Be present where you are and take note.
If it is warm outside, take your shoes off and go stand on the warm grass.
Yeah. Are you still doing the things that you want to be doing? Are you happy with how and where you're spending your time and your energy? So here's something I think about pretty regularly. Am I doing this thing, whatever it is, because I want to be doing it or because I feel like I have to? And sometimes we really do have to do things even when we don't want to. But in those instances, for me at least, I have to stop and consider, do I feel like I have to because I'm afraid?
Yeah, you think of the why.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've personally been working on is to stop making fear-based decisions. I've decided that if fear is my reason for doing anything, then it has to stop.
It's not worth it,
Yeah. So I know I've gone off on a tangent, but I wanted to bring it back to this idea of stepping back and slowing down. So stop looking ahead to the next day and all the things it requires of you. And I know for some of us, that's really hard.
Right. Planners.
Yeah. And as cliche as it sounds, tomorrow is guaranteed to no one. So if you just live your whole life planning for tomorrow, then you've missed out on right now.
Yeah. And
so where are you right now? Like, what can we all do to be more present in the life we have right in this very moment? And how do we plan for things we want in the future while also expressing gratitude for what we have right now? So I'm not saying don't make plans. I'm a big planner. I love plans. I love setting goals, working towards things. I mean, look at all the jobs we have. We like this stuff.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to get so caught up in where I want to be.
Yeah, what's going to happen next.
That I forget where I am.
Yeah, what's happening now.
So to bring it all back to the beginning of this episode, for me, the wheel of the year helps us live in the moment, in the real, uncurated world in every season. Time is going to keep passing. And if we're just living on autopilot without being fully present, we're going to miss the little things that happen. Like the words that our friends and family say to us while we're staring at our phones. We'll miss the way the sky turns peach and lavender while we're driving down the road during a sunset because we're zoning out about what we have to get done.
You have those moments where, did I just stop at that stop sign?
Yeah. Like, we've all done that. So it's not like you need to be ashamed of it, but it's also like, man, I'm not old. I'm 43. I'm not old, but I'm also conscious that I'm like, I'm already 43. I'm halfway through my life. Gosh, it's gone by quickly. You know, it's weird. And I don't want the second half to go by as quickly. So when this episode comes out, we'll be in the middle of Yule, which is the winter solstice. It goes from December 21st through January 1st. It's a time of stillness, rest, and recuperation.
And it's really not that long of a time.
It's really not. This is a great time to stop and slow down. Think about your life. Where do you want to spend your time and energy? What can you do to prioritize that? What do you need to feel good about yourself? And what are things within your control? That's a big one.
Yeah.
What are the things in your control that you can do to bring you there? Because that's what I want for all of you. I want you to look at yourself and be like, damn, I'm great.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm going to do amazing things.
Freaking great. Yeah. And even if you have goals that you're not at yet, you can still be happy with where you are right now.
Right.
Because I know so many of you, and you're all really great.
Yeah.
I mean, for one, you listen to this podcast, so you're doing really good.
Making really good life choices.
We're all very proud of you.
Yeah.
And then take that whole damn, I'm great energy and just spread it around to the people that you care about. Because if we can start like kind of leading by example of like, hey, we don't all have to hate our bodies, or the whole thing of, how I was watching a thing the other day about mommy wine culture, how everybody's like, my kids drive me crazy and make me drink. We don't all have to talk about how our kids drive us crazy. Some of us really like them.
I know.
Things like that. This whole thing of just, it's looking around the world and complaining all the time. Let's just start being happy where we are.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like.
Or instead, you could just say, I'm a mom boss today and I deserve a glass of wine.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be because your kids make you crazy.
Right.
Okay. So let's wrap this up with a little magic. So I was looking for something that would help us with starting a fresh new year. Also, just in case you're listening to this episode at some other time, like you're new to the podcast and you're binging old stuff, here's a quick reminder that you can get a fresh start anytime.
Anytime. It does not. No. Yeah. That's my thing about resolutions. Like, nobody's going to keep a resolution just because you had to in January or whatever, January 1st or whatever.
So if you are listening to this,
you can always
at the end or, at the changing of the year, great. If you're not, fine. You can still have a fresh start anytime you want.
Yeah.
There's no special season or new moon or planetary alignment that you have to have.
No, just a little reset.
Just go do it. So anyway, I found this ritual in one of my favorite books. Here, if you're on the YouTube, you can see it. It's called The Seasonal Soul by Lauren Aletta. Did you get this for me, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's honestly beautiful. I've shown you guys this before, or maybe just on the Patreon, but it's like illustrated. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. It goes through the whole season. Through the whole year. Okay, so this is an integration ritual. That was great. Great podcasting. Okay, so the idea behind this ritual is we all have light and dark, right? I'm not asking you to pretend that your life is normal. To pretend that your life is perfect, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to fake happiness. I'm telling you to take a look at your life however it is, and find a way to be happy with it. And one way is to kind of help balance the light and the dark within you. So grab whatever your personal healing tools are, whether it's crystals or candles or oils or just whatever feels good to you. And maybe you just need quiet space. That's fine.
Mine's quiet space with plants.
Yes. So take time to create a space with the intention of opening and exploring all the elements of you, light and dark. Then do whatever works for you to center yourself. And this is kind of like what we were talking about with grounding before. Just take a few minutes, get to where you're really focused on what you're doing, okay? This time is about you. So when you're ready, reflect upon what you had wanted for the year that we've just been through. Like, what did you want? Did you have plans that didn't come to fruition? Did things happen that threw you off course? Were there disappointments? And then really take the time to think through those experiences. This is the dark part. This is the hard part, right? Allow your energy and your body to guide you to the places that you need to visit and revisit. You're going to go through a lot of emotions, and that's okay. Give yourself the freedom to let your emotions rise. And this isn't going to be comfortable for a lot of us. Some of us have a hard time expressing negative emotions. That's okay. This is one of the reasons why it's good to do this alone with plenty of privacy and space to feel whatever you feel. And don't be ashamed if you're angry. Don't be embarrassed if you're sad. Don't let those thoughts
get in your head as you're trying to process this.
Yeah, I think this is a time when a lot of us kind of revert to like that inner child thing where, you know how your parents would say like, don't cry or whatever.
Suck it up.
Dude,
you're
cry.
Yeah.
Cry.
Let it go.
As often as you want.
Yes.
Get that out. I'm a big fan of crying.
Oh, same. Yeah.
I love crying.
You need to go sit in the bathroom for 5 minutes and cry. Do it.
Yeah. So sit there long enough to like really feel whatever you need to feel. And if you do find yourself initially talking yourself out of your emotions, like go ahead and like argue that.
Yeah.
Until you can really let it out.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel upset. Even if someone else has tried to minimize that in the past.
Yeah.
So, okay. This says, as discomfort rises to the surface, engage your energy body, the field of energy that surrounds you. Imagine 2 large, inwardly spinning circles on the left and right side of your body that intersect at your crown chakra and again at your base. This is the, what do you think that is? Vesica
pieces.
Vesica Piscis, a sacred geometric shape that supports us in transforming. Use your feelings and inner knowledge to identify the shadowy aspects of yourself that you are ready to embody. As they rise up, use your breath and the sacred circles to facilitate integration.
Ooh.
So it says it might help to imagine the spinning circles as a light, just like a sparkler. Take note of its color and how it feels in your body and energy field as it spins. You'll notice that after a while, the initial discomfort or pain will begin to dissipate, leaving you with mesmerizing beauty. I think the idea of this is a lot of the times when we go through something painful or we had something planned and we're disappointed, it's really easy to sort of push that off because you don't want to deal with it. You just want to move on, or you're ashamed of it, so you don't want to deal with it. And this is more like you sit there with that darkness until you're not okay affected by it anymore. And you can appreciate it for the experience that you went through or the lesson that it taught you. Okay. So basically it wants you to do this for as long as you need to. And then it will help balance out that darkness so that it doesn't overshadow your light.
So then it takes a new shape.
Yeah. And that's the end of it, basically. So the whole idea is to give yourself time and space to feel any emotions that you maybe have been pushing down for the whole year. And now you've got that all out.
Clean slate.
And you can start with what you want to do now. And I love it. I think it's
you don't have that blockage.
A hard one. Yeah. I think it's a hard one, but I also think it's an important one.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a good time if you're into Reiki, go do Reiki.
Yes.
Or have someone do Reiki for you.
Okay. I've always been so intrigued. Like, I've always thought about getting into that because, my crazy energy and stuff. But then I'm like, I don't know that I can let others absorb my energy because it's pure chaos.
I got my Reiki level 1 certification right before COVID hit. And so then it was like, the whole idea, you don't have to touch people, but, you got to get real close.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, COVID's here.
Germs.
You can't get close to anybody. And so, technically, once you're certified, like I still have the certified, I know how to do it. Yeah. But I think I have to, I should go get realigned, But anyway, so I hope that you guys like this little magic episode. Yeah. I hope that, I don't know, you don't have to do this ritual.
You in some way.
Yes. But anything you guys can do, I just, like I said, not to be all mushy, but I love you guys. Like, you're just the best. You make this whole thing so much more fun than it would be without you.
Right.
So,
and if you have fun little rituals that you want to share with the group,
go to the Facebook group. Yeah, for sure.
And if you aren't in our Facebook group, if you don't like social media, message us on Anchor, email us, tell us about it. We'll share them.
I don't think they can message us on Anchor anymore. It's changed.
Has it? Oh, yeah.
But you can message us. You can send us an email or message us on Instagram or wherever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you guys
so much.
Have a fantastic end of your year.
Oh my gosh,
and we'll see you in 2023. Right?
It's wild.
Okay. We love you
so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.